chosen one. Notice the strange, illogical piece sitting right underneath your surface panic. Logically, your 2026 is falling apart, and you should be breaking down completely. But deep in your spirit, you feel a secret, tiny spark of relief that you haven't dared to admit out loud. You are not crazy. That relief is your soul recognizing a divine rescue mission. The exact moment your plans shattered wasn't a punishment, and it wasn't a failure. It was God pulling the emergency brake on your timeline. He is violently rerouting your entire 2026 because the enemy had copied the keys to your old map. Heaven had to crash your vehicle just to get you off a road that was leading straight into a trap. You are not hearing this by accident. The Holy Spirit orchestrated this exact intersection of time and algorithm because your mind is currently pushing you to make a desperate, panic-driven decision to rebuild that old plan. Do not move. I need you to stay with me until the very last second of this message, because what I am about to reveal will pull you out of this panic permanently. By the end of this video, I will give you the exact 3-phase detour map to navigate this chaos. I will expose the 3 specific counterattacks the enemy has scheduled for your next 40 days, and I will hand you the exact protocol to shut down the monitoring spirits who are watching you right now. If you leave early, you will be walking into a spiritual minefield, completely blind. Subscribe to align with thousands of awakened souls. Like this video if your spirit recognizes this truth, and comment Reroute 2026 to command the new frequency to activate. You think you are hopelessly lost, but listen closely to what happened in the unseen realm 3 days ago. Before I show you the new coordinates, you need to see the sniper rifle that was pointed at your old map. Let us be brutally honest for a second. You were already exhausted by your old 2026 plan. You were carrying it out of obligation, not revelation. But you would not stop, because you were afraid of looking like a failure to the people watching you. And that is exactly why God had to step in. He did not break your plan to humble you. He broke it to protect you from the people celebrating it. Think about Psalm 23 verse 5. You have heard it 1,000,000 times. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. But you need to understand the Hebrew word for enemies here. The word is Sarah. Sarah does not just mean someone who hates you. Sarah means to bind, to tie up, to restrict, to cramp your space. God was looking at your 2026 plan, and he saw that Sarah. He saw the people and the systems that were going to bind you, restrict you, and cramp your calling. They were masquerading as your supporters, but in the spirit, they were monitoring spirits. God could not prepare your table on that old map, because the Tsara were already sitting in the chairs. So he flipped the entire table over. And this brings us to your immediate defense strategy. I call this the burned bridge protocol. Right now, because your plans have visibly collapsed, you are going to get messages. People who have not spoken to you in months will suddenly reach out. They will say things like, "I heard what happened. Are you okay? Or let me know if you need anything." Hear me clearly. Do not explain yourself to them. Do not vent to them. Do not tell them you are confused. They are not checking on your well-being. They are checking to see if the threat of your destiny has finally been neutralized. Your response must be absolute strategic silence. The burned bridge protocol dictates that you reply with an illogical level of peace. You say, "Everything is shifting perfectly according to God's plan. Thank you for checking in." And then you say absolutely nothing else. You starve their curiosity. You give them zero energy to feed on. But shutting them out is only the first layer. Now we must deal with the lie the enemy is whispering in your ear right now. Because right now, you are trying to spiritualize this delay. You are telling yourself that this is a test of your patience. You are looking at the rubble of your 2026 and thinking, "Okay, God just wants me to wait longer. He wants me to endure." You remember James chapter 1 verses 3 and 4. which says that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete. So you brace yourself. Feel that heavy, exhausting drop in your shoulders right now as you mentally prepare to wait another 5 years for the promises you thought were happening tomorrow. You are convincing yourself that you just need to be more patient. You just need to endure the silence. But here is what I have not told you yet, and this is going to shatter everything you thought you knew about this season. This is not a patience test. Faithfulness and patience were the cover story. That is what you thought was being tested. But waiting longer on a map that is leading you off a cliff does not make you faithful. It makes you a casualty. You do not need more time. You need a completely different frequency. You think God is making you wait in silence, but He is actually trying to broadcast the new 2026 coordinates to you right now. The problem is not His timing. The problem is that you literally cannot hear Him. Your biology is currently blocking your theology. And what I am about to show you in the next part of this message is the hidden frequency key that will unlock the new map. Let me explain the exact science of your spiritual blockade and why the panic you feel is keeping you trapped in a prison you cannot see. When your plans crashed, your nervous system took a direct hit. The shock of that sudden detour pushed your brain into a high-frequency survival state called beta. Notice the constant, invisible buzzing in your head right now. In the beta state, your mind is constantly scanning the horizon for danger. You are overthinking every conversation, analyzing every bill, and trying to predict disasters that have not even happened yet. Beta is the frequency of sheer panic. And here is the brutal spiritual reality. Heaven does not broadcast its instructions on the beta frequency. God is actively speaking the new coordinates over your life right now, but your biological receiver is tuned to the wrong station. Look at 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 11 and 12. The prophet Elijah had just won a massive victory, but then his life was threatened. He panicked. He ran into the wilderness. He was operating in pure survival mode, pure beta state. God told him to stand on the mountain. A great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. Wind, earthquakes, and fire. That is exactly what the beta state feels like in your mind. It is pure, internal chaos. But after the fire came a gentle whisper, a still, small voice. Elijah could only hear the voice of God when the external and internal chaos stopped. That still, small voice operates on a completely different frequency. It operates in the stillness of the theta frequency. To download your new map for 2026, you have to force your brain to exit the beta prison and return to the theta state. Theta and gamma are the frequencies of intuition, of deep spiritual knowing, of divine download. When you were a child, your brain naturally operated in these high frequencies. You were deeply connected. But the trauma of life, the betrayals, the constant stress, they locked you into beta. This is not just a spiritual theory. A former NASA neuroscientist actually confirmed this. Their research shows that 98% of children have genius-level brain capacity, operating naturally in these divine frequencies. But as they grow up and get crushed by the systems of this world, that ability is suppressed. It is not gone forever. It is simply dormant, waiting to be reactivated. So how do you break out of beta when your whole world feels like it is collapsing? How do you quiet the wind and the earthquake in your mind so you can hear the whisper? You cannot just tell yourself to stop panicking. That never works. You need a mechanism to bypass the panic. And there is a sacred audio key designed to do exactly that. It is called the Genius Wave. I do not want you to think of this as just a consumer product. Think of it as a frequency recalibration tool. It uses a specific sound technology called brainwave entrainment to gently guide your brain out of the chaotic beta state and restore it to the divine theta frequency. It is ancient wisdom, validated by modern science. And the absolute beauty of it is its simplicity. You do not have to force yourself to learn complex meditation techniques while your life is falling apart. You just listen to it for 7 minutes a day. It acts as a bridge, restoring the neural pathways that allow you to hear the divine broadcast clearly again. I never pressure anyone to do anything, but if your spirit is confirming right now that your frequency is blocked, if you know you are stuck in survival mode and you desperately need to hear the new coordinates for your life, investigate the NASA research behind the Genius Wave. I have placed the tool in the pinned comment below this video. Explore it if you feel led by the Holy Spirit, because once you return to that theta frequency, the static clears, the silence breaks, and the new map becomes crystal clear. But as that new map begins to unfold, we have to address something very dark, hiding in your subconscious. I need you to perform a mental exercise with me right now. Do not move your body, just inside your mind. I want you to walk up to a mirror. Look closely at the reflection. But it is not you as you are today. It is the version of you who just received everything you ever prayed for. Look at the massive success. Look at the profound influence. Look at the overwhelming blessing. Now, notice the sensation in the pit of your stomach. It is not pure joy, is it? There is a heavy, sinking feeling of dread. Let us tell the brutal truth that nobody else will admit. A part of you is absolutely terrified of the new map. A part of you felt a twisted sense of secret relief when your old 2026 plan broke, because if it had actually succeeded, you knew you would be crushed by the weight of it. You are afraid of the massive overpayment. You are terrified of the responsibility. The voice in your head whispers, "What if I get it and I mess it all up? What if I cannot carry the weight?" The enemy has been weaponizing this secret fear to make you feel guilty, to make you think you lack faith, to make you feel like a fraud. But let me completely reframe this for you. Your fear is not a lack of faith. Your fear is the absolute proof that you are finally ready. Look at Luke chapter 5 verse 8. Jesus tells Peter to cast his nets after a night of catching absolutely nothing. Peter obeys, and they catch so many fish that the boats literally begin to sink. This is the ultimate blessing, the massive overpayment, the shalom. And what is Peter's reaction? Does he jump for joy? Does he celebrate? No. He falls at the knees of Jesus and says, "Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." The Greek word used to describe Peter's emotional state in that moment is thambos. It means to be utterly terrified, amazed, and overwhelmed to the point of being paralyzed. Peter was experiencing the terror of the blessing, the fear of the glory. He realized the blessing was so massive, he was completely unworthy and incapable of managing it in his own human strength. God does not give the massive, world-changing assignments to people who think they are entitled to them. He gives them to the people who understand the terrifying weight of the glory. He gives it to the people who feel thambos. The fact that you are terrified of this new detour is the exact proof heaven needed to hand you the keys. You are not arrogant. You are deeply aware, and your awareness of the weight is your supreme qualification to carry it. Now that your frequency is shifting and your fear is dismantled, you are ready for the new map. But I must warn you, the enemy knows you are about to walk into the shalom, the massive overpayment. And he has set up 3 specific, highly coordinated traps on this new detour. If you do not know exactly what they look like, you will forfeit the 2026 upgrade. Look closely at these 3 attacks. The first trap waiting for you on this new path is the illusion of urgency. Within days of your plan collapsing, the enemy will inject a highly toxic adrenaline into your system. You will feel a desperate, screaming need to just do something. The voice in your head will say, "You are falling behind. Everyone else is moving forward. You have to fix this right this second." That is a lie. That urgency is designed to make you construct a new trap out of the rubble of the old one. Your counterattack is stillness. When the panic screams at you to move, you completely freeze. You refuse to make a long-term decision in a short-term panic. Standing perfectly still while everything burns around you is the highest form of spiritual warfare. The second trap is the logic assault. As you begin to accept this violent rerouting, your own mind and the well-meaning people around you will start throwing logical spreadsheets at your faith. They will say, "This new direction makes absolutely no sense. You have no experience there. It is too risky." When this happens, you must remind yourself of one brutal truth. Your old, perfectly logical plan was leading you straight off a cliff. Human logic cannot comprehend divine strategy. Do not let people who cannot hear your theta frequency try to give you directions based on their beta survival state. The third trap is the most dangerous of all. I call it the premature settlement. Because God broke your plan, you are hungry for a win. You are desperate for a sign that you are on the right track. And right on cue, the enemy will present you with a mediocre opportunity, a door that looks okay, but requires you to compromise just a little bit of your peace. It is the appetizer sent to ruin your appetite for the main course. You defeat this trap by brutally rejecting the good, so that your hands are empty to receive the great. You might be asking yourself right now, does anyone actually survive this level of warfare? Does anyone actually make it through a detour this violent and come out successful? Let me show you exactly what your destination looks like. 8 months ago, there was a chosen one who had their entire financial blueprint for the decade absolutely shatter in a single afternoon. They were standing in their bathroom at 2 in the morning, staring at a rejection letter that effectively destroyed everything they had built. They wanted to panic. They wanted to beg the people who rejected them. But instead, they activated the burned bridge protocol. They went completely silent. They stopped explaining. They used that silent space to recalibrate their frequency away from survival and back into divine connection. Exactly 40 days later, an obscure, completely unpredicted niche door opened. It was a route they never would have looked at on their old map. Today, that detour is generating 4 times the profit their original plan ever could have. Or consider another chosen one whose wedding was cancelled just weeks before the date. A brutal, devastating reroute of a relationship they thought was ordained. They endured the deepest logic assault and the heaviest guilt trips from their environment. But they refused to settle prematurely. Today, they are stepping into a divine partnership that requires zero protection and zero forcing, completely eclipsing the counterfeit relationship they almost married. Why does the detour always end like this? Look at Joel chapter 2, verse 25. God says, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." The English translation uses the word restore, which sounds like God is just going to give you back exactly what you lost. If you lost 5 years, you get 5 years back. But the original Hebrew word used there is shalom. Shalom does not mean to simply return an item. Shalom means to make complete, to pay back with extreme compound interest. It is a massive overpayment for your suffering. God did not reroute your 2026 just to restore your baseline. He rerouted you to take you directly to the shalom. The old map could only give you normal results. The new map is designed for the overpayment. Listen to me very carefully. We are closing every door of doubt right now. You are not a failure frantically trying to duct tape a broken plan back together. You are a chosen one who has been sovereignly intercepted and placed onto the high-speed highway of heaven. God smashed your old container because your harvest is too massive to fit inside it. I need you to perform an internal, spiritual shift right now. Do not move your physical body, but inside your mind, anchor your awareness directly to the center of your chest. Imagine planting your spiritual feet violently into the ground, locking yourself into a stance of absolute authority. This is a military commissioning. In the ultimate, matchless, and supreme name of the Creator of the universe, We stand in the courts of heaven right now. Father, you saw them, staring at that blank calendar in absolute shock. You heard the weeping at 3 in the morning when they thought they had ruined their own destiny. You saw the exact moment their heart broke over a plan they tried so hard to build. And I thank you that you loved them enough to break that plan before it could break them. Right now, by the authority of the word, I seal the burned bridge protocol into their spirit. I seal the theta frequency into their mind. I bind every monitoring spirit that has tried to feed off their confusion. You are permanently locked out of their timeline. I shatter the illusion of urgency. I silence the logic assault. I completely cancel the trap of the premature settlement. I declare that the Shalom is activated over their 2026. 20 years of acceleration are being compressed into the next 5 years. The new coordinates are being downloaded. The overpayment is secured. The reroute is not a demotion. It is the ultimate promotion. Chosen one, heaven is asking you a direct question. Will you drop the ashes of your old map and accept the new coordinates? Speak it into the atmosphere right now. Say out loud, I accept the reroute. You are deployed. Walk in it.